I'm with the best-selling author, Gianni Kovacevic. He wrote, My Electrician Drives a Porsche, and he's fresh from his tour where he took his Tesla cross-country. He's also a speaker here at the Minds and Money Conference. We're kicking off our coverage. Gianni, good to have you back on the show.
Great to be in Toronto.
So, last time we spoke, you were about to embark on this tour with your Tesla, and you had a message. Let's recap that and tell us a little bit about how the tour went.
Yeah, I drove a Tesla across America to show people the future is now. This stuff works. We've seen, since I last interviewed with you, so many announcements from the incumbent automotive manufacturers who are now addressing this. In many ways, they're subordinate to the technology companies. They want, their customers that is, want these technologically advanced vehicles. And of course, I'm speaking about electric cars. It works. The charging system, which I taxed probably more than most people. I don't think there's 20 people in America that have the experience I have. I drove 13,500 kilometers, and a scrutiny of media, skeptics, positive people, weekend, day, night, Airbnb, hotel, you name it. I drove from Boston to Florida to California, Tesla headquarters back up to Vancouver, and I have to tell you, zero issue. It is just
Tesla's
it's a non-issue.
been in the press, especially this summer. We saw the issues they had, but you still love it despite the negative press that's received.
I don't own Tesla shares. I'm probably not going to buy Tesla shares. I like the product. I like the technology there. So what's going to happen with the incumbents? We saw that with Volkswagen. They have this $15 billion penalty with the EPA. $2 billion of that is going to be to install non-proprietary charging infrastructure in the United States, about $800 million in California alone. So people need to look, what did Tesla invest?
Right.
And what's Volkswagen now going to do?
But you trust the self-driving mechanism feature of the car?
You have to be alert. It's really an aid. So 90% of the 13,500 kilometers I drove was with autopilot. I personally never had an issue, but you have to be alert. If you're driving the car and there's a piece of tire shrapnel or what have you in the middle of the road, you need to be aware of that. You can't sit there and fall asleep or something. You need to agitate the steering wheel every 5 minutes and, of course, be relatively aware, but you don't have the same fatigue that you would have, and it's certainly safer in case, you're not going to rear-end someone or this kind of stuff.
Okay, so that's not discouraging you. And what about like when people talk about one day we'll have, soon maybe, we'll have self-driving Ubers and taxis and whatnot. Is that the way of the future? Do you support that?
This is something that they're probably going to solve this puzzle in the next 5, 6, 7 years. In my opinion, a lot of towns, counties, states are going to say, great, you did it, you still need a driver. We don't care.
Okay.
For safety, for jobs perspectives, for who knows what. But what it is going to enable them to do is if they're using ride sharing or this kind of thing, where the car is serviced and maintained or fueled, it can be driverless.
So Johnny, you wrote the book, you did the tour, what's next for you?
Well, I'm an investor. The book was a hobby, and so we're looking at this very acutely. So we want to allocate capital in these things that make it possible.
Okay.
So as everyone knows, I've been invested in copper and these things for a while. People have been looking. I haven't invested in lithium yet, and so
surprised by that. Actually.
Yeah, because
why not?
They're populating the sector in general with a lot of names. There is some kind of a bubble being built there. So I look at it, I want to be in the best location. I want to be with the best technology.
Okay.
I want to be with a very senior team in that place. So I've chosen Chile, and I'm investing in the Atacama de Salar, or the Salar de Atacama, and I've invested now in Wealth Minerals.
Okay, so you have invested.
I have now. With the guy that is the point person in Chile is Marcelo Awad. He was the former CEO of Antofagasta.
Okay.
So it gives me a lot of confidence. And a third of the world's lithium is produced out of that very salar.
Okay, so you trust the management team. That's your number one criteria?
So everyone's got to do their due diligence, but that's a place you probably could focus some brain power.
Okay, what else are you liking?
Well, I like the copper space.
Okay.
We have not had any joy in investing in copper exploration and development. So what we've done with the market is basically said, look, we'll buy a couple deposits, things that have had a lot of money spent on them, places we'd be happy to send our children to go work, and then we will take the lifestyle out of the company. We vehemently control dilution because there's no lifestyle in the company. So for disclosure, I'm the largest shareholder of the company. It's called CopperBank, and we are now looking at, our market cap's $10 million. We're looking at enhancing our assets by doing strategic work programs that are not going to be dilutive to CopperBank, but could potentially give some kind of interesting dividend to our shareholders. So people want to follow CopperBank very closely in the coming months.
Are you in the precious metals?
A little bit. I'm looking at getting involved in a company, which I think is going to have a lot of traction. Haven't allocated the capital yet.
Is it gold? Is it silver?
It's gold.
Okay.
It's gold.
Okay.
And
Is it in Canada?
It's going to be international,
Okay.
but it's backed by one of those, let's say, 5 most famous gold investors.
All right, we can narrow that down.
It's coming. I'll let you know soon.
All right, Gianni, thank you so much. Best of luck, and see you soon.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching. We'll have much more for you on KITCO News, so be sure to stay tuned to kitco.com as we continue our coverage from Minds and Money in Toronto.